Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football postgame show. Well, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals finally got a break. The Dallas Cowboys have flashbacks to one of the most painful moments in franchise history. Uh, Burrow threw a tie-breaking 40-yard touchdown pass to Jamar Chase after Dallas botched a blocked punt to give the ball back to Cincinnati in the final 2 minutes, and the Bengals beat the Dallas Cowboys 27-20 on Monday night. The Cowboys were about to get the ball back with the score tied on the first play after the 2 minute warning, and Nick Vigil blocked a punt by Cincinnati's Ryan Ricco. Amore or Warai tried to field the bouncing ball when leaving it alone, would have given Dallas possession. Or you couldn't hold on, and the Bengals, Mema, Nijan Jamida, recovered at the Cincy 43-yard line with 1:53 remaining. 3 plays later, Burrow threw to Chase, who evaded Dayron Bland and ran untouched the rest of the way for the lead with 1:01 to go as the Bengals, who went to 5-8 and stopped a 3-game losing streak, the second one-score victory in a puzzling season for the defensively challenged Bengals, came after all 3 losses during their second 3-game skid, and 7 of the 8 defeats this season were by 7 points or less. We needed a break, Burrow said. We haven't gotten many this year, but it was nice to get that one and nice to come out of this with a win. Excuse me. For the Cowboys, the scene that set up the Burrow Chase winner was hauntingly familiar to a snowy Thanksgiving day in 1993 at Texas Stadium. Leon Lett inexplicably slid on the snow-covered field to try to recover a blocked field goal in the final seconds that would have given Dallas a victory over Miami. The Dolphins recovered and kicked a field goal on the final play for a 16-14 victory. Oruwari's Gaff came in his first game back off injured reserve and missing 5 games with a back injury. Fellow defensive backs Jordan Lewis and C.J. Goodwin kept reporters away from Oruwari in the locker room after the game. Special teams coach John Fassel frantically waved from the sideline for all his players to get away from the ball after the blocked punt, but Oruwari had never hesitated to try to grab it. You see why it happened. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy said he turns and the ball's there, and he reacted to it. He reacted to it. Excuse me. I haven't seen the video. I saw it live. It's definitely tough learning an opportunity. It is tough to learn an opportunity. The winning TD secured a 4th consecutive game, at least 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns for Burrow, who finished with 369 and 3 scores to Chase, and it was the first victory in that stretch. Chase, the NFL leader in yards receiving and touchdowns, at 177 yards on a season-high 14 catches and is up to 15 TDs. Chase easily navigated his way past Bland on the winning play. For me and Joe We're on the same page, Chase said. He threw to my inside shoulder so I can turn upfield after the catch. Cooper rushed through two TD passes, and Rico Dowdle ran for a career-high 131 yards as the Cowboys, who fall to 5-8, saw the end of their modest two-game winning streak after losing 5 in a row. A fourth consecutive playoff trip was already a long shot for Dallas and is all but out of reach now. So Dallas will have to try to get back to the playoffs next year. We understand that we dug ourselves in a hole, McCarthy said. We had to have this one tonight, and this is a very disappointing loss. The Bengals ended a 5-game losing streak against the Cowboys with their first victory in the series since 2004. The Cowboys lost linebacker DeMarvion Overshown to a right knee injury for the fourth quarter. It came in the first game for Dallas since a spectacular 23-yard interception return for a touchdown in a 27-20 victory over the New York Giants on Thanksgiving Day. McCarthy said the injury was serious. Overshown missed all of his rookie season in 2023 with a torn ligament in his left knee. Burrow was walking with a limp after the game, but said his knee won't prevent him from playing. It's nothing crazy, Burrow said. Landed on it a couple of times, probably a Bursa sack. It'll be sore, we'll see. Linebacker for the Bengals, linebacker Joe Bacci was ruled out in the fourth quarter with a right groin injury. For the Cowboys, for his rookie center Cooper Beebe was sustained a concussion, and was ruled out at halftime. Right guard Brock Hoffman, the replacement for injured seven-time All-Pro Zach Martin, had an ankle injury, moved to center. TJ Bass took over at right guard. Special teams ace CJ Goodwin was ruled out in the second half with a hamstring injury. But Dallas, their playoff hopes are out of reach this season, and they will have to try again next year, as I've mentioned. Well, they'll have to regroup. Dallas will be at Carolina at Bank of America Stadium to take on the Panthers, and the Bengals will be in Nashville at Nissan Stadium to take on the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. So we'll see if Dallas can get back in the winning track, even though their playoff hopes are out of reach. And I'm going to have to give the game balls to the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, 33 of 44 carries and attempts, 369 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jamar Chase, 14 receptions, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I think it's Chase Brown, Chase Brown, 14 attempts, 58 yards. Cincinnati goes to 5-8. Dallas falls to 5-8. So, and we both won on Cincinnati. I won the picks. I was 9-4. And my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle, he was 8-5. I went to 10-3-2 on the picks. My brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle, went to 3-9-2 on the picks. So this season. Now we do have a plethora of football. Football coming up for this week, and we kick it off with Thursday Night Football. The Los Angeles Rams will be in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, to take on the 49ers, who have been struggling as of late, although they got a big win over Chicago this past Sunday. And that'll be Thursday Night Football for the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, December 15th. Dallas is at Carolina, as I mentioned, to take on the Panthers. The Kansas City Chiefs are here in Cleveland to take on the Browns. And I'm not holding my breath on the Browns beating the Chiefs. The Miami Dolphins are in Houston at NRG Stadium to take on the Texans. The Jets are in Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium to take on the Jaguars. The Washington Commanders are at Caesars Superdome to take on the New Orleans Saints. The Ravens are in MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. The Cincinnati, and rounding out the 1 o'clock games, the Cincinnati Bengals, as I mentioned, are in Nashville at Nissan Stadium to take on the Tennessee Titans. And we have 4 late afternoon games. Uh, uh, the beginning with the Patriots are at State Farm Stadium in Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals. The Indianapolis Colts are in at Empire Field at Mile High in Denver to take on the Broncos. The Bills are at Ford Field in Detroit to take on the Lions. And Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers are at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California to take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Sunday Night Football. We have the Green Bay Packers are at Lumen Field in Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. And a Monday Night Football doubleheader we got coming up. In the early game, which will begin at 8 o'clock, the Bears are in Minnesota at U.S. Bank Field in Minneapolis to take on the Vikings. And the Atlanta Falcons are at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. So no teams are on a bye this week. So we'll see what happens with this week of NFL football, since we're starting to get on the home stretch of the season. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football postgame show. And I'll be back on Thursday with the Scott Sports 101, Thursday Night Football pregame show before the Rams and 49ers game and the postgame show once that game has concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.